Another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I'm your host, Edward Anderson. We doing a vertical stream. Y'all will get over it. Y'all can always go through the replay. I don't want to hear it. I decided to do that because cause the way I'm sitting is just not. I can't keep it positioned horizontal. I want to talk about Kendra G and her corny ass. I want to talk about Kendra G and her corny ass. First of all, black men got to stop using the term delusional because women clearly don't get offended by delusional. They actually take pride in being delusional. They think being delusional is them basically going for a higher price. So we really got to stop calling them delusional because that doesn't really affect their behavior. And if it just doesn't, it doesn't matter because they don't care about being delusional. We need to call it what it really is. It's corny as hell. Kendra G is corny. Kendra G is corny. Kendra G just did a not too long ago did a podcast or an interview, whatever, a sit down with Cam Newton. And one thing I already know what Cam's game. Cam clearly allows himself to be beat up by these women in order to, build his podcast, And I get the business strategy. I mean, the dudes that don't agree with it are just gonna cook her in other videos. The women have this love to hate relationship with Cam because they can't get a guy like him. They can't get a Cam is a representation of a lot of the dudes that they get frustrated by because Cam don't really pander to women like that. Now Cam will sit there and pop his collar and say, I'm him compared to other dudes. But Cam don't really straight up pander to women like that. He don't. And so Cam is like this horse, this wild horse that in their mind they want to break. And he's a manifestation of the leverage that they don't have with men that they desire. And so for that reason, they can occupies this unique space where they're comfortable disrespecting him. And I'm not even talking about the people on his show. I'm talking about just the overall female audience. He has a very toxic relationship with the females that actually watch his stuff or come across his content. And so I saw a clip of Kendra, and I'll share it in Discord already. If you're in the Discord, check it out. It's in the general section. It's about a minute and a half long. And Kendra just has this look on her face like she's that bitch. Kendra is not an ugly female. Kendra is not an ugly female. And Kendra actually has a decent body. But here's the problem. The problem with Kendra is a lot of these chicks don't know where they are and how to move, how to maximize the position based on where they are. And here's Kendra's problem. The math don't math. Kendra, she was talking about what she don't like. I don't like liars. I don't like dudes that, I don't subscribe to high value because usually men with money, that's what they use in order to hide, their other faults. Basically describing white men. Black men have never had that. There are black men that do that, or a lot of men that do that. But what Kendra, she was talking about, she was playing the morals card, which understand black women are like the last women. Black women or white women are some of the last women to talk about giving a fuck about morals. Black women really walk through here. They all like when I hear women in general, but black women talk about morals. I want a man with morals. This really describe like couple of things you can ask to shut that shit down. One, what are you willing to sacrifice for a man with morals? Are you willing to sacrifice him making money for morals? Are you willing to sacrifice him being 6 foot tall for morals? What are we willing to do, give up for morals? Because I promise you, because y'all give passes for money. Y'all, if dudes got a money that can provide you a lifestyle, compared to what you're used to, you all give a lot of passes. Don't believe me? How many women are out here sharing men? How many women are out here sharing men? What do a lot of these dudes have in common? Either these dudes know how to fuck or these dudes know how to pay. And do not believe on social media what these chicks are saying, how much money these chicks are these. It does not cost that much. Do not believe that these women are getting all this money. They are not, because it's just they don't have. They're not. It's not in the market. Jason Black, like maybe a couple years ago, actually did a really good video on Kendra when she bought herself that Continental. But the reality is, you know, they talk about morals, and I keep telling y'all, pay attention when women use language in an ambiguous way. They never want to be tied down on anything. They always speak in like very strong generalities. This is why when you talk in generalities, they talk about not all women, not all this, which makes it like a complete waste of time in talking to women about certain stuff, certain topics, because they're not actually there to have clarity and understanding. They're there in order to get into an emotional tug of war. And the way that you deal with that is you have to build a better ship, or you have to build a situation. You have to, when people say self improve, what that actually means is for you to create a situation vis-a-vis self discipline, vis-a-vis your personal attributes, but also a situation around you that you can choose that's valuable to be into it. And I'm not just talking about how you look or your sexual skills. I'm not even just talking about what you can pay a woman. I'm talking about your orbit. This is why I call it the Great Gatsby method. Because what did Great Gatsby do? He created a party, he created an environment that was designed to attract a specific person. Now, I'm not saying to do that for that reason. But what I am saying is you have to create, it's not just a party or all the intangibles. It's just what you're around, what you're doing. For instance, just so I can be specific, there's a difference between you working a 9 to 5 and then you having control over your time because money makes money on its own. Or there's a difference between you working a job that generates a certain amount of income so that you can kind of, when you need to step back from that, you have the ability to do so, even if it would be like your own business or a 9 to 5. Whether it's a career or whatever, because people can interact with a 9 to 5 via contractual work or whatever. There's a difference. If you own your home, or if you own your home, if you have a home that you mortgage, or if you have a significant amount of income that is discretionary spending, these things give you capabilities within your quality of life, aka health, money, time, freedom, relationships. It could be what network you belong to, meaning friends and people you built up that are all doing various things. A lot of class revolves around how you grew up and what network you're currently in. Her dad is a big reason why she's the way she is. And so my point is, all of these create. Think of it like a planet, and you have satellites or your orbit. These things create your gravitational pull. You don't want to tell everybody everything because the mystery creates the allure, because that's what human nature is. People can talk about game. People can, that can be an argument. That's more about how you socialize. That's more your social skills. People can talk about, who you have access to. People can talk about your physical attributes. Some of them you're born with. Some of them you develop. People call it, the young people call that aura. You get what I'm saying? And so when you develop these things, you have the ability to control. There's greater degrees of ability, obviously, but you have the ability to control who can be in your life and who can't. And you made it attractive for people to be in your orbit. Or you can just, and even if you haven't gotten to that part yet, you still can control who you give time to within the realm of certain situations you want to even deal with. And so what happens is we get into these tug of wars where women ain't really saying shit. They just like, I feel a certain type of way, and I'm gonna get you to submit to my will of how I feel. If you don't play that game with, this is where leverage comes in. This is why women are very sensitive to passport bros. They're very sensitive to dudes date black men dating outside their race, particularly white women. They are very sensitive to black men completely checking out. Because if black men check out, the longer black men are checked out, the more they realize that they're going to live and they're going to survive without women being around anyway. Like they're not gonna mentally just crash out. Some dudes will, some dudes won't. You know, so it becomes so then that, and if too many, they don't really care about the men that check out because they think the men are losers. But the problem is, as a group, if too many men check out, if too many losers check, like if too many losers are not putting money into the system, then the system cannot function. When I say the system, I mean if too many dudes, if you don't have dudes, like for example, I'm talking about who these women consider losers. If these losers check out, then these losers are not going to be in a friend zone. Which would be dudes they may not, these dudes they can stomach being around for a certain amount of time because they get free. So this is why you hear women now. Women go from saying men ain't shit, men are dangerous, I'm scared, to why aren't men friends with women? Why aren't men friends? Why don't men, but like, because a lot of these don't believe in being friends with women because they understand that's emotional. They, even if they can't articulate it, they understand if men aren't friends with women, that's emotional labor going out the window because you can only do so much with the social media delusion, which is why a lot of these chicks they get around, they corral around a Tony Gaskins or a Derek Jackson because that's that quote unquote friend that they would deal with telling them what they want to hear in their ear. Niggas getting paid being a fucking emotional dope dealing Jiminy fucking Cricket. Telling them nothing's their fault, or that mirror on the wall, who's this of a wall, but you got a delusional mirror telling you what the fuck you want to hear. That would make great AI. Bitch, 270 pounds talking about that weight lay right and shit. So at the end of the day, they harp on that on social media, which is why a lot of these chicks are so cooked. They talk about what the men are cooked. The men got to deal with real life every day because we don't get that. I was listening to a accountable commentary video. I'm gonna get back to Kim in a second, but I was listening to a accountable commentary video, and you guys see, I think it was on his Blackout channel. And I go back and forth with those police videos, but I watch them, so I'm not gonna complain about some shit I'm actively choosing to watch. Um, so this chick, the shit this chick was doing was like crazy. I mean, from the time she was stopped to the time that like she was just doing the absolute most for no reason on a basic stop. And so they get in this delusional world and they start bringing it out in real life. You know they crazy when they jumping on white cops like that. But anyway, but my point is, so when I say all this, that to say this, when Kendra comes in with this, this look, this who gonna check me, waiting to excel type look, it's like, bitch, you're 40, you're 44, you're like a couple of years from being you're literally in your mid 40s. You are literally like having hot flashes and shit. You're not in your your ability to have kids actually puts your body at risk. Literally. The only dudes like from where she lands in the dating pool, the only dudes that would deal with you is dudes that are like in their like late 40s to mid 50s, or dudes that they just trying to put target practice and put their numbers up. But they not about to pay you, they not about to buy you shit, pay for shit, or do anything. Those what? D.L. Hughley's daughter. Those niggas with socks and sandals. But she too old for that because that shit look goofy as hell. Anybody with money, why would you spend it on Kendra? Remember, Kendra's the bitch, the chick that got that damn African dude that she was paying for. She got a dude that was a scammer. Whenever she gets in a relationship, she got to show that shit off to show because it's really is about her trying to present herself to the next person. She bought that GT Continental that had like 80,000 miles on it. because she trying to act like she's of this value. I mean, it's really sad. Like me, I don't like seeing women. Personally, I don't like seeing black women go out like this. I mean, I'm gonna talk about it, and I know how to put my empathy in check because I know what these chicks are out. I don't want to see these chicks go out like this. I don't want to see no chick go out like Harry Hilton, especially when it's unnecessary. But it is what it is. It's not my problem. We all got our own problems. But when she got this look, like she just thinks she that bitch, talk about what you don't like. It's like, bitch, it don't matter what you don't like. It really don't. Because at the end of the day, you're cooked. You're cooked and you don't even know it. You still out. Kendra's talking like she's 34. Kendra's talking like she's 34, where you could reasonably get with like a 42, 43-year-old dude that maybe he got money and got motion, but he might have been a late bloomer. And he like, cool, I can do so, I can pop kid one, kid two out, and he got some money. And the truth is with her is now you gotta add in the fact that you want a lifestyle. She talk about money don't matter. Well then how come you ain't found no nigga? How come you haven't found a nigga that you can a fixer upper project? How come you haven't found a dude that may look, you should have been found a dude that looks a certain type of way, but he ain't got no money and you got money and you can invest in him. But see, here's the problem. Dudes like that, if dudes like that are willing to deal with a chick, they'll hook them up. Them niggas are high risk to leave. Because them dudes, as soon as they get what they get, they can always trade you out. That's the risk you run though. That's why you don't want to be in that situation. That's why you don't be in that situation. But it's like you should have been did that. But instead, and see, years ago, that's not how she was talking. Now she want to talk like, oh, money don't matter, high, but get the fuck out of here. Because you wouldn't be, people forget she was on Tamara Hall talking goofy as hell. Even Tamara Hall, if you look at that interview she did, Tamara Hall was like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because she like, you got, like, women had that, oh, like, ooh, like, bitch, what are you talking about? Kendra was literally embarrassing Tamron on her own show with the bullshit Kendra G was saying. Tamron Hall, Kendra Hall don't even like black men, like, which, whatever. Tamron Hall literally turned that shit into a makeshift intervention. Because the shit Kendra was saying, make sure you get them lights up, guys, lights are free, was fucking crazy. Tamron was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm gonna keep it real. A big person that I blame, obviously her mom. You can blame her mom because her mom didn't give her the game. But I'm gonna keep it real. And I normally don't say this. I really do believe that Kendra's father fucked her the fuck up. I think Kendra's father had a princess complex. I think Kendra's father don't like black men. And gave her that ain't nobody good enough for my baby. Gave her a lot more emotional support, and I mean like not the right kind of emotional support. And she got something to say, and it's like she was her career was her man for the longest time, and she want to talk about a man as a liar. I don't like liars. Most of you bitches lie. All of you bitches lie. What are you talking about? I don't like liars. I don't like, dudes that think they all that and they think they conceited and full of themselves. I don't like this. And it's like, well, bitch, date outside your race then. And I wish Cam would have said that. Have you ever tried dating outside your race? Well, why would you ask that? Why wouldn't I ask that? Well, I mean, what's wrong with that? What wrong with that? But why would you? Because you talk. Because I assume you mainly dated black men. Is that correct, or am I mistaken? Yeah. Okay. So clearly, you've been in the dating market for a while, and it's not working with black men. Have you thought that maybe it's a compatibility issue that black men, or I'm getting the feeling that if you dated black men and you're describing mainly black men, because how can you talk about men you haven't dated? I'm getting the vibe that you think niggas ain't shit. And if that's the case, obviously this is about you and how you can get the what you want to get. And so, have you tried maybe dating another culture? A white man, Hispanic man? Just say it, dead ass. That's how you deal dead ass. Not even on some I'm trolling you. I'm dead ass. And what happens is because a lot of them women were saying in the comments, they were saying she was talking about Cam to her face. And a lot of these motherfuckers do that. And it's like, yo, at the end of the fucking day, I'm me. Regardless how you feel about it, I'm me. My money, what I've done in the NFL, for better or for worse, I'm here. I've held my I've been on here and been accountable. But I'm still me. He got a chick. Cam got a chick. Cam dealing with other chicks, just not in her face. Cam is dated a single mother and taking that kid as his own. Cam got kids. Cam got kids. Cam got a family structure, regardless how people want to say it. Jasmine Brown ain't somebody that does comedy. She ain't some just ain't shit bitch that ain't doing shit. I mean, I could make the argument Jasmine Brown is as successful, if not more successful than Kendra, minus being with Cam. Like seriously, if Jasmine Brown were to were to not date Cam anymore, even as a single mother, she probably have a better chance of getting somebody else at a high level, maybe not Cam's level, but definitely it's than Kendra would because she's younger and the math fundamentally is there. No, black men. I don't think black men are that black men are not scared of that. I think it's just something black men don't think about because you'll never now. Black women are scared to tell black men to date out. I've said it before. Nobody's gonna do more for a black woman than a black man. That's facts. You are never at scale. You barely can give me like individual situations. Iman don't count because she ain't black American. So Iman don't count. And Iman's a fucking supermodel with David Bowie. Most white people won't let what George Lucas, and he's Jewish. To me, Jewish people don't count either. Robert De Niro, again, Jewish. So it's like at scale, you are like you can barely find you're gonna end up like Kayla Nicole because the fact that you feel validated that you're with a white man or quite frankly a non-black man to a lesser extent, that's payment. That's how y'all accept that. This is why black women, not all to date outside their race, but a lot of black women will accept a non-black man calling them the N-word. And let me be very clear here. Even though I absolutely think you niggas are goofy as all hell. Letting Hispanic women say that around y'all, I'm telling you, it is way more disrespectful when a non-black or white man does it. Because if a non-black man, a white man or whatever, is willing to call you the N-word, do not believe that. You really believe that dude is going to protect you? You really do believe that a dude is willing to call you that is going to put his personhood on the line in any real way? You think if he's willing to call you an N word, even if it's A, even if it's not with the hard R, you really think you're going to be protected with his family? Men don't expect that anyway. At the end of the day, the woman has to, a non-black man doesn't really get penalized for fucking black women. They may kind of get the side eye if they have a kid with one. Other races of women actually can lose their female credit card, especially white women, but even Hispanic women too, for even fucking a black man. So there's a real built-in cost. There really is no cost for non-black men to deal with black women. That's filed under the boys will be boys clause, meaning you're expected to have your fun and then get you a good, nice, whatever girl of pick the ethnic group that you belong to, and then close it out. But it's expected that men are going to have their fun. And a lot of times, quiet as it's kept, black women are pretty much that it's better to run through black women than to run through your own women. This is how Arabs see it. This is how Indians see it. This is how, well, to a lesser extent, Indians. This is how white men see it. To a lesser extent, this is how Hispanic men see it. Which is why black women, a lot of these black women even have sexual access to these dudes, because that's that broom closet shit. And so when I see women talking this shit about Cam, you're watching his show. You went to his show. He didn't go to your show. Cam is still on TV from time to time. Cam is doing his thing. Even though Cam should be in the NFL and he got hoes, but we know what that is. We know what that is. Versus Kendra isn't on a morning show. Kendra got fired. Kendra just has her social media, and granted, Kendra does have a sizable social media presence on, especially Facebook. Not gonna act like she doesn't. She got like 600. She's got a lot. She may have 1 million followers on Facebook. I last time it may be that high. So I'm not gonna just front. But when it comes to like your real status, you ain't like famous like that. You're a Radiohead. That don't mean shit. And a female one at that. You ain't Wendy Williams. Remember, Kendra tried to get on the. I want you to think about this. They chose Just Hilarious. I want you to think about this. Kendra worked for the same company that I think owns and operates the Breakfast Club. They chose Just Hilarious over Kendra. I don't know if I would have made that choice because I actually like Just Hilarious less than Kendra. I want you to think about that. We talking about I'm an accelerationist. Like what I'm an accelerationist. What the fuck is that? I'm an accelerationist. She's not. I mean, I don't find most women funny. I actually don't find women funny. If I find you funny as a woman, that's a high compliment. I've seen and I have seen there are some women that are capable of having senses of humor, but a lot of women don't have the personality for it. I've seen it. You see it a little bit more. I think women do better in skits than they do actual stand up comedy, but I've seen women do some stuff in stand up. But women tend to do better in skits. But they picked Just Hilarious over Kendra. I want you to think about that. Now, part of that could be, I don't know. That says a lot because part of it is to say, well, Kendra might be able to have a bigger conversation in a room compared to Envy and Charlemagne, which I don't know if that's true. True because Just Hilarious can kind of be belligerent, but I do think she could be more controllable. But I want you to think about that. I want you to really think about that, and that's why she quit, that's why she quit. And clearly, she had her own. She got her own money. She ain't broke, but I want you to really think about that. So when she talking about I'm that bitch, you wasn't that bitch enough. Like you ain't really big on YouTube. Like outside of that show, ain't nobody gives a fuck about Kendra outside of her damn show. And the reason why people even watch her show is such a circus that in the algorithm, that's because when people forget, she was trying to clap a lot of people's channels that was doing content on her because her content tends to perform well in this space because because the people she brings on is such a joke. And so what was it? It was like Black Light, him, what his name is, I hate saying his name, Fine Lexi. I'm like, that's your name too. What the fuck? But whatever. Black Light. They was trying to get his channel. It was another dude that she was trying to sue. It was a bigger channel. I want you to like it was a dude that had like 200,000 subs that like she was actually trying to put a lawsuit on. I hate that name. That shit just I'm not gonna shit on his name because it is what it is. But dude, I mean you use your imagination. It is. It ain't serious. I mean I don't like the pop. I hate the pop the balloon show. I hate the pop the balloon show. But the pop the balloon show, um, I can take a little bit more serious than that. With her shit, because at least these people got to be in front of each other, not just on here giving a fucking value McDonald's value menu all the shit you want that you don't qualify for. And then you got to think, just like on the Pop the Balloon show, a lot of bitches get on that show as single mothers. It should be a thing. If you're a single mother, you need not apply. And I bet you a lot of bitches to get mad. I don't care because if these dudes, these these chicks get on here talk about I don't like this about you, but you a fucking single mother. Bitch, shut the fuck up. You fucking got two kids with two different niggas. Bitch, if you don't shut the fuck up, he's still around. Kendra used to sell network marketing products. I know because I saw her Instagram. I know what they look like. And my thing is, so when I hear these, it's like I don't like to beat beat this guy, but when you get these shit like I don't like this, I don't like that, it don't fucking matter what you like, cause you not really in the game like that. And like I said, Kendra ain't ugly. Kendra is a chick that at best she's straight for the stroke. And I'm gonna keep it real, she really straight with the stroke for the stroke when you got a couple of shots in you. But as far as like a real relationship, the math don't math unless you like the math don't math because at this point a dude ain't about to go through no fucking Resident Evil style like facility in order to fucking have a kid with you. Why would I do that when I can just nut it in a bitch that's 30? I would never watch the Pop Balloon show. Is straight like I don't like using. I don't want to overuse the term brain rot, but it is brain rot. First of all, it's a disrespect. I said it before. It's a disrespect. It's a humiliation ritual for black men. That's what that Pop the Balloon show is. Ain't nobody still have done a thing where they get white boys and non-black men that like black women to get on that bitch. Because I bet you'll find the bitches that learn how to act. Them bitches won't act. These chicks won't disrespect them dudes like that. I forget that one white comedian. If he got on there just for fun, like they won't do that. They won't even they won't even like all them episodes, and it's always the same shit. And even when they got the dude, like the one dude, it's like 1 versus 20. It'd be like, yo, this is what the market is. This is the best y'all can find out here. But it's also a humiliation ritual. No, I would get mad if the show kept coming through my feed. So at the end of the day, it'd be like, yo, and I still got that video. That's actually one of my biggest performing videos, like uploads, was the one with Mr. Let Go. When she came in there, she got the same look. When she said everything to Mr. Let Go that she wanted to say to Kevin. That's why she got on there the next day after Kevin was like this, and she was talking about, oh, well, I don't think his intentions are right. His intentions were right. And you sitting here you're on a show with Ace Metaphor, a podcast with Ace Metaphor, talking about his intentions weren't right. Bitch, how you know his intentions? I wish somebody would just tell her, let's keep it all the way funky why you mad. You came up on there because you thought you was gonna do a partner, car mixer, fucking business mixer. You thought you was somebody because you was because you was on a radio show, and you expected because Kevin was in Atlanta to just play the game and basically kiss ass and just ha kiki and ha ha with you. And Kevin puts you in a chair because you called up like every other bitch. He puts you in the chair. He put even Nicki Minaj. Like, Nicki Minaj is like the only chick he ever like gave kid gloves to. Tommy, remember Tommy Lee came on there, and he kind of gave kid gloves to Tommy Lee. Stormy Wellington came on there, and he kind of gave kid gloves to Stormy Wellington, but he didn't. The only person anybody could make the argument he compromised himself was Nicki Minaj because he said Nicki Minaj is a nine. But the truth is, there's a lot of black men that used to think Nicki Minaj was a nine. And that's no cap. I remember when I was first introduced to Nicki Minaj by black men, niggas would be like, I heard niggas say I would have her baby. That's how hoe niggas were about Nicki Minaj. People forget that. Because you gotta remember, and other than Trina, it wasn't no rappers like that out. And see the argument that the thing that all them everybody used to say to them celebrities about Kevin was they used to lie. They used to say that Kevin would disrespect black women out of nowhere, and they all lied. And what they did was they shared all of his clips out of context. They did that on purpose. That's why Charleston White apologized. That's why Roaster 5'9" apologized. It was a couple of dudes that actually said my bad because even some of them even when he was alive, they said my bad because even Roaster 5'9" said it. He said they sent me clips, and when I actually watched like a show, a lead up to the shit, he said he watched two shows, one and one to confirm it. He's like, oh no, that's not how them clips show it is not what it really what really goes down. Them clips show it in the middle of him checking them, not the disrespect 1, 2, 3 that would happen over and over and over again. Every single time Kevin checked the chick, he would try. They would try him. And truth be told, Kevin actually checked white women a lot quicker than he would black women. He gave black women a lot of rope. Kevin actually used to really not go at white women, but Kevin used to really be short with white women. It was really kind of funny. And I'm not just talking about Pearl. I'm not even mainly talking about Pearl. Kevin used to be real short. Kevin used to give black women like a lot of wiggle room. A lot of wiggle room. And they would just get on here playing because they not serious anyway. So they want to get on the show because you got to remember, you got people forget, Kevin was doing 20,000 views. When I say 20,000 live viewers. So getting on you got to think about it. If you get on his show and you make an impact, that's free advertising. That's why whenever you saw like a really attractive female, black, white, get on that show, usually they had a following. I remember when Tawana got on that show from the Lapeef. I bet you everything I know that she was sent there by the Lapeef. He checked Beck. Honestly, Kevin used to check Becky's before they talked slick. It used to be like Kevin really wanted to get them off the fucking phone. Like he really did not want to talk to them. I was like, damn, Kevin. And I get it, but I was like, damn, you really living dangerously, huh? I mean, honestly, I'm surprised nobody like Kevin. I mean, his daughter will probably get stupid about it, but really, people should do a live watch through with like all like just go through every episode of the show and just do a live reaction, not of like his talks, but like when the call, just play the whole thing out and let's have a conversation about what happened. I'm surprised ain't nobody done did that. Yeah, you did the right thing not going on men's week because them niggas was not representing. He never got the men's week right because the thing is, a lot of them niggas show how matriarchal they were in men's week. Like I remember when he was telling them about dreads, these niggas want. It's like nigga, these niggas want to like you really want to protest over dreads. Niggas really wanted to make it like a social movement about them wearing dreads. And Kevin was talking about moving up the corporate ladder. Now that stuff is better now, but if you willing to put your job on the line or your corporate advancement on the line for fucking dreads, Because most of these, look, I get it. Some of y'all got it for cultural reasons. Like 80%, like 70% of y'all got dreads because that's what the bitches want. And that's what's trendy. Just like y'all niggas has got beards. 70% of you niggas got beards because that's what's trendy. Y'all need to be honest about that. So, with that context, if you willing to put your corporate advancement on the line, it's like, nigga, if you really need, there's other ways to make money in this economy, my nigga. If you care that bad, then learn to do it. I'm not even saying, learn to access this money in different ways. But like niggas would really try to argue with him over that. It's like Cat was like, I'm not the nigga you need to convince. It's them white dudes is just controlling whether you get upperly moved or not. And I can tell you right now, they don't give a fuck. So if you wanna not believe it, they not gonna tell you. They're not gonna outright tell you to shave their dreads because that could make them liable. But trust and believe, they've told, or when one dude was like, hey, what are we gonna do when black women don't want to deal with it? Like nigga was literally having a panic attack online to the point where Kevin had to really cut the show and say you matter. Cause they don't think they matter outside. Like a lot of these niggas, they was making niggas look like, it's like wow, the matriarchy really came out. Like a lot of these niggas were like captured. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having, like, for example, SWP put a video out talking about $50 haircuts and all of that, and how certain people gonna have dreads. I don't have a problem with people necessarily having dreads, but don't get mad. I'm not saying it's necessarily right for you not to be hired because you or advance if you can do the job because you have dreads. But my thing is, don't act. That's not something we're putting on the social justice plate. There's way too many other things we need to worry about than to worry about you niggas, wanting to get dreads and these white dudes accepting that. The reality of the situation is most of you niggas got dreads because you the bitches like it. If the bitches did not like dreads, y'all wouldn't have them. I don't give a fuck how cultural that shit is, and I'm right. I'm right. So that's really where that comes from. Niggas want to appease the bitch. I'm not saying that's the only reason you have them, but let's keep it real. If hoes and black females did not like dreads, quite frankly, if a white one did not like dreads, if they said ew, you niggas would cut them bitches that night. Let's stop playing. Let's stop playing. Y'all niggas are following Future and all them fucking rappers because in the 90s, dreads was not popping like that because the artists didn't have it. And truth be told, niggas in the 90s didn't have dreads like that because the artists didn't have it. That shit really got popping in 2000 and up. Really. And then in the 2010s with Future and all of that, that shit got popping. Just like beards really started coming into play during because of these Arabs. That's really where it came from because niggas was not wearing beards in the in the 90s and the 90s and the 80s. That's some shit that came up too. Y'all niggas are following rappers because these bitches are following rappers. Tattoos had kind of a general progression for a variety of reasons, but from what you're talking about, yes, a lot of these dudes, if tattoos scared the hoes, they wouldn't have them. And that just goes to show you how a lot of you niggas are led by these chicks. As a group, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all can give me individual. I get it. If you Jamaican or something, yeah, you might, or you Caribbean, you might have dreads. That's a cultural thing. But let's keep it real. A lot of niggas drew dreads over some female shit. Y'all know I'm right. And a lot of y'all that may have had it all your life, you kept it all your life because of that. That's what drives a lot of that. And that's what people don't like to talk about. Y'all niggas want to be fucking nigga Ken dolls for these hoes. And then they get that dudes put energy into that, and then they get mad why they dudes ain't building. It's because that's not what you picking for. You not picking for that. So it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. It ain't, yeah, the men, but the thing about it is when you look at what Kendra G wants, it's like you're trying to find a unicorn situation. You're trying to, like, again, you were running out of time in your early 30s. Cheyenne Bryant. Cheyenne Bryant. Same fucking situation. Cheyenne Bryant was 32 on Zoe shit every once in a while. What the fuck were you all doing in your 30s? You want to relive in your 20s? And then when y'all get 40, y'all think y'all about to call everything pedophilia and shit, thinking you about to pull the ladder. Yeah. Fucking nigga Ken dolls with dreads and hair and shit. I call it beautiful nigga syndrome. I'm not saying everything that's 100% of what it is, but as a macro, you know I'm right. Individually, y'all can say shit, but as a macro, you know I'm right. And a lot of y'all niggas know y'all wouldn't have got tats. If y'all knew bitches didn't like that, y'all wouldn't have got them. I'm not saying that's the only driving factor, but people don't want to admit that that's a big driver. Anyway, I'll be back. Give me a second. All right, my bad. I'm back. Press one if you can hear me. All right. So last thing I'm gonna talk about. I'm getting tired. Like, have y'all heard about this Brandy situation? Let me just ask. Cause I'm getting tired of talking about the age shit because that shit getting on my nerves. Have y'all heard about the Brandy situation with her book? I just want to tell my truth. She really out here. I was a child. Brandy was a child. Like all these women getting on here. It's a couple chicks telling the truth about it, but she was a child. How could you? She was a child. Like I said, these bitches are children until they 30 years old, and even then, they still trying to be children. Man, when you look at all of the dudes, like she didn't take that many dudes, but she was connected to a lot of dudes, man. But remember, she was a child. I mean, the thing about it is her mom. Oh no, her mom was definitely gonna stop her. The thing about it is her mom was like Kris Jenner, and I don't mean that necessarily in a bad way, but her mom had control of her career. So it's like Brandy did all this shit with your mom, with her mom, like as her manager. Her mom was controlling everything, and she want to sit here trying to act like again, a lot of these chicks, because the issue is the youngest dude from Boys to Men, Wanye, dated her. He was 22 years old and 16. And all these chicks, I looked up some stuff in ChatGPT, and obviously, you double check it, but that's why I'm disclosing it was from ChatGPT. But I asked ChatGPT, before the year 2000, how many states had at least 16 was the age of consent? And it said 30. I asked a follow up question. So when you say 30, are you saying that it was 16, 17, and 18, so 16 and up? Or are you saying it was minimum 16? And he broke it down. He said like 10 were 17 and 10 were 18. California, which is where she resided, and that's where Wanye might be fucked up, has been 18 for the 1900s. They saying it's a misdemeanor if you're an 18-year-old, you deal with a 17-year-old. So if y'all go to high school together, that's a misdemeanor. That's crazy, and that's been like that in California. But it's only like Oregon. It's only a couple of states that's like that. Most states, really, and by the way, she was born in Mississippi, by the way. But most states back then, like under 2000. So this is when she would have. Remember, Brandy was born in 1979. So she was 16 in 1995. That's why this is important. So she was 16 in 1995. She was 18 in 1997. And she was 20 in 1999. So she dated Mace after Kobe. This is why these timelines are important. Obviously, Tupac died in 1995. So anyway, long story short, she dated Wanye, I guess, 95, 96. So Brandy was dating people back to, people forget, in a 5-year span, Brandy dated quite a few people. In a 6-year span, Brandy dated like quite a few people, for that time as far as famous. She wasn't in no relationship for like a minute, and then she said like one of her whole albums was like about Wanye, and this is one of her like known ones. The ones like, have you ever loved someone so bad it makes you cry? That album. And so when when you hear, and her mom was her manager like that whole time. So, and her mom was like, had her on lock. Her dad is a pastor. So her mom had her on lock. Like, she wasn't doing nothing her mom wasn't allowing. So that Wanye situation was known. Now people trying to spin it. So the issue is Wanye was 22 years old. Brandy was 16 years old. Wanye has been on record at the Breakfast Club saying that they had sex when she was 16 and 22. And because of the arrested development of millennials and Z's, they 16-year-old might as well be like 12 years old in their mind. 16 years old is a sophomore in high school. And the reality is, back then, most of the states, the age of consent was 16. That's why people see the way they want to sell it is, it was just first of all, and let's just be very, the pedophilia is being attracted to children, a prepubescent person. Meaning, if you have a period, you are not prepubescent at that point. So 16-year-olds are not children in that way. So of course it's statutory, but it is not pedophilia. But people use that word and misuse that word because, again, they're just trying to put maximum pressure on some stuff. I don't know why people just don't say that we had a statutory issue. But even then, California, so to be straight up, California was not one of those states. But reason that's important is because this is what the general law of the land was. So when people say that this is what was going on, we're not talking about 33-year-olds. We're talking about 20-year-olds, 21, 22, people 2 years out of high school, people 3 years at whatever. This is not the same thing. And I'm not saying it's right, but it's not the same thing. And so people are trying to make it like they're trying to. I hate emotional arguments. Well, some of these I said before 2000 because I'm talking about when she would have been that age. When all these chicks were that age. This is why they keep trying to say in the 90s it was no. You're redefining what age of consent is. That's what you're redefining for today's time. In the 90s, it meant something different because in the 90s, you still remember in the 90s Gen X. Remember, Brandy is Gen X. She's on the younger end of Gen X. In the 90s, millennials weren't voting age yet. Millennials didn't get voting age till like the late 90s, like the beginning of the millennials. You still had the greatest generation is alive. You still had the greatest generation, silent generation, the boomers. The boomers was like in their 40s and 50s at that time. Gen X was like in their 20s. No, Gen X was like 18. See, so people are redefining what shit was. People got to remember everything was analog. This is before the internet. This is before a lot of shit. This is before a lot of shit. So people are taking today's time and they're remixing the work. Like shit was a lot more conservative back then too. A lot of stuff was not open. The city girl slut walks, all that bullshit. People forget that, and so people want to sit here and they want to remember. Playboy was out there. Hugh Hefner. So people really want to be out here and they want to take today's time and apply it to age of consent. Here's the other thing, because people would say, "Oh, but I can say that about slavery." You go to Europe, and I'm not just talking about Germany, but I'm talking about all of the Western European countries: UK, Spain, France. Pick one. The Western Europe, the big ones, the known ones, not some backwater. Almost every last one of their age of consents are 16. Ain't no Romeo and Juliet laws. It's 16. The difference today is millennials. BGS has told you about this for a minute. Millennials are raised in an arrested, especially the younger ones, in an arrested development situation. And then the Z's are definitely arrestedly developed. So what happens is in their mind, you're a child until you're like in your late 20s, 30. This is where that I never liked that tween shit. Teen and tween, 20s like you're because then it is framed that way. Now you notice they never say when it's a dude like Jalen, what you call it, in with like when it's a dude is young, it's never he's a child. Apparently, women are the only ones that can be their child. And really, what they're doing when they say this is they're saying they don't have the ability to consent. Well, you all shouldn't be having sex with anybody because if you don't have the ability to consent, that means you don't have the ability to consent with anybody. Now they want to change the argument they want to change the argument to the leverage in a relationship because when you're a certain age, there's a certain power dynamic. No, that's how women think, which is why y'all be trying to date younger dudes. But they want to say, well, you can apply that to anything. You can apply that to money. You can apply that to status. You can so basically anything you want can be seen as leverage, which can be seen as coercion. And so the thing that nullifies that too is her parents were involved in a relationship, meaning she knew what was going on, her mom. So that kills that. Now, if it don't matter, none of that matters if it's statute because it's like, yo, if you, I think the age, this is why you have statutory limits. You had limit statutes on these things because then people would just, if it's a real issue, then you should have brought it up within a reasonable amount of time. Now, granted, she's just writing a book, but I don't have an issue so much with Brandy saying she can say, well, that's between him and him. But women will use this to then try to say, oh, all of us, we're hoes because we was all freaked out. Now regret is now assault. If you regret sex, now that's assault. And you can regret it 20, 30 years later. This is the problem with Me Too. Is this set this precedent. My thing too, why the fuck didn't y'all bring this up during Me Too? We're not gonna have Me Too waves where y'all like the 80s, the 90s. No, y'all should have brought all this up in Me Too. Y'all was of age. It's not like this some shit that there's no reasonable reason y'all shouldn't have brought this up during Me Too. Y'all should have brought all this up. But no, y'all want this perpetual. If I don't get what I want from sex, y'all can remix it into I was assaulted. Again, if you're assaulted, go to the police. If you're not filing a police report, I'm going to keep it real. You shouldn't even be able to sue nobody for sexual assault unless they've been convicted. Um, if you shouldn't be able to sue nobody for assault unless you got a trial for criminal charges. That may sound crazy, but my thing is, I don't want to hear shit from people that ain't filed no police report. I really don't. Did you get the cops involved? No. Well, but I don't want to hear it then. I didn't even. I'm not even gonna go low because I'm not here to justify dealing with underage or young people. That's not what I'm here to justify. But yes, don't even go to Eastern Europe. Don't even look at all of that. I'm not here. I'm not here to justify anything. But what I will say is the only people that have a higher age of consent than America is Japan and Korea, and they're about to be extinct in like 100 years, if not sooner, because of their because of their demographics. So so I'm not even here to justify that because then people always be on some, oh, you trying to no, I'm not doing that, or just because it's legal don't make it moral. But that's not what I'm looking at. I'm telling you the fucking entire planet, America has the highest age of consent laws, the highest, which means there's a responsibility of the parents and of a female at the age of 16 to you know what goes in your coochie. There's an accountability there. And if you're not mature enough to do that, then that's on you. But you don't then turn around and get to like these bitches like and women are starting to tell the truth. They're starting to say a lot of these chicks. One woman put a video out there and she said the reason why a lot of these almost every because this is something that happened in urban environments a lot. It still happened in the rural areas, but it definitely happened in the cities like Chicago, New York, yes. And one of the reasons why these things happen, you saw this even in movies and stuff. That's how normalized this stuff was. The reason why you saw like 15, like 16, 17, really with 16, 17, dating, 18, dating dudes are like 22, 23 is because they have money. And that's a decision that is being made. And what we want to say is they weren't being coerced. They made a decision. And the reality is, you all want to remix it back. You want to remix it, because it was never any of these females dating younger dudes. That just was never happening, right? But you all want to remix it to like it was this like trafficking thing that all of y'all were being trafficked. You all were not being trafficked. You all willingly dealt with the. I saw this in high school. You all willingly dealt with the situation you dealt with. I know motherfuckers in the 8th grade that was dealing with I know motherfuckers in the 8th and 7th grade that was dealing with motherfuckers in high school. They weren't seniors, but they were like sophomores. And all these dudes, we know that y'all willingly got in them cars. Y'all wasn't getting snatched up. And now y'all want to come around and then say, I didn't know what I was doing. Bitch, fuck you. Bitch, fuck you. What did I tell y'all? Y'all remember a couple years ago. What did I tell y'all about that imprint shit? What did I tell y'all about these bitches getting imprinted early? Press 2 if y'all remember a couple years ago when I used to harp on that. Y'all remember it was a couple years ago. It's been a minute when I used to talk about that. I used to talk about imprinting and how these bitches be getting imprinted by these niggas. These bitches are getting imprinted by these niggas, and that's something that, by the way, nobody talks about today. Post Kevin, you ain't heard nobody talk. You ain't heard like you had to go to Alexis Tyler to talking about hitting the bottom. Ain't nobody. It's been years. Like shout out to Ron Wills because he's like the only one that really BGS will talk about every once in a long while. But Ron Wills only talk imprinting. A lot of these chicks this is what they really wanting to say, but they can't say it because they I don't even think they understand it. A lot of these chicks be fucking at 13, 14, 15 years old, and this is not necessarily dudes that are older than them, like older than them to that degree. They're fucking in their school, but a lot of them are fucking. A lot of them are fucking dudes that are 3, 4 years older than them, and some of them 5 and 6. When they get in high school, their hormones, all that kick in, and they don't care. They lie. These women are getting on here and they're saying it. They talking about, they in a building with a dude, and they're in heat. That's what it is. They're in heat. This is why you gotta watch these daughters. This is why these bitches. This is why the Muslims are like, no, fuck that. We're covering them up. We're not even giving them the opportunity because they under. Here's the thing: people want to keep saying that the problem is the men are arming the women. No, that is an issue. But the other part is these females are gonna find a dick if they're motivated enough to hop on a dick. It doesn't matter. They will find a dick to hop on. Whether they gotta get a fake ID, whether they gotta go to a club, if they got older sisters, if they got older cousins, the girls' night. We're not even talking about how freaked out these females are now with the gay shit they be doing amongst each other. With social media today, I'm telling you, these chicks, what happens is they get imprinted at like 15, 16, and they're fucked. They're fucked. This is one of the reasons why white boys always asking white women, because it's a new trend where white women are saying, why are white boys asking white women if you've been with a black guy? White boys don't even know this because they're just operating on racism. But what they're really asking is, you might have been imprinted, because black guys, in their mind, all black men know how to fuck, and if all black men know how to fuck, and a lot of them have at least a bigger dick than black men, then that means you've most likely been imprinted by black men. And notice that you ain't heard nobody talk about that for years. You probably ain't even heard nobody bring up imprint since probably like 2004, if that. That's really, I think it's like really been 2023 the last time I brought it up. And what's happening is a lot of these bitches are looking back and realizing they got imprinted. And now they want to say, because they didn't understand that, and they don't actually articulate it that way with those words, but they know what they did. They have been forever. And that's not to say Brandy's situation, even though Brandy got with somebody and had a fake marriage. See, people forget that. I guess she was too young to understand what a fucking fake marriage was too. People forget that Brandy had a fake marriage because she didn't want to be considered a baby mama, because that shit wasn't cool back then, especially for her brand. But she young, and by the way, her mom didn't know shit about that either, right? But my point is, a lot of these chicks will fake being like Eve, lying. What's the chick? The Hispanic chicks, the Cuban chicks, the radio host in Miami, Velez. All these chicks be 16, lying, saying they 18, going in the strip club, showing their body. That's CP. Going in strip clubs, lying, giving fake IDs. The way they want to frame it is, dude didn't, like Uncle Luke and all them didn't ask no questions. I don't believe that. I believe they asked for ID, you lied, and like whatever. But that ain't their job to follow up on you like that. It ain't. Because what they gonna do? Ask your fucking parents? And so they want to remix the shit. It's like, no, you all weren't trafficked. You all chose to jump in that life because you wanted to do what the fuck you wanted to do. You wanted to be independent. You wanted to be grown. Remember when all these bitches talk about, I'm grown. I'm grown. Remember that? Now all of a sudden, I'm a child. I'm a child. Because they occupy this space when they're 18, 19, that they're told they're a child. So basically, they told nothing they do really matters because they're a child. They're a child. So, like, that's what India Love tried to do. When he put his hands in my bitch, you saw that was there. You went along with it. That's why you waited this long to say something. Now you 30, it's always these convenient times when these women start doing this. They selling a book, they 30, whatever. I'm a child. And what's happening is a lot of them chicks got imprinted. This is where all these chicks. This is one of the reasons. Like this is one of the reasons it doesn't get talked about. Why all these chicks be chasing hood niggas? Because a lot of these chicks be getting imprinted by hood niggas. Or what they do is they in the suburbs and they start getting put like that bitch that said dirty socks and all of that. These bitches are getting imprinted. It's the same thing that white men be looking for white women on. Because once you get imprinted like that, see, that's something they don't talk about in sexual education. If you let, especially when you're in those ages, because you can see, quiet as it's kept, your ability to have a kid really starts at like 15, 16. It's really 14. Like, if we're going, like, remember, humans didn't have a lifespan that much longer than 40, like 100 years ago. People forget that. So you couldn't be fucking 30 having children because you would never raise them up any kind of real way. Because you'd be dead. That's some relative last 50, 60 year shit. Remember, abortion is only like 54, 55 years old. There's people in living, like mom, like there's people in living memory. Abortion did, you couldn't legally get that shit. The thing with R. Kelly is there was a lot of women involved with pimping their daughters to R. Kelly. But see that I'm not R. Kelly should be in jail, but R. Kelly had help. And if Janelle Maxwell is in jail, then shit, you should have other motherfuckers in jail. But see, they don't want to punish the parent, but you should. If it fucks up the child, then fuck it. But have him go with the grandparent. Something. But what happens is the mother gets a shield because it's seen as further damaging the child to remove the mother from the equation. That's the issue. And that's why a lot of the female, like for instance, you really telling me that Nicki Minaj's the chick that Nicki Minaj's brother, when I say chick, I'm talking about the chick that Nicki Minaj's brother was actually with, not who he molested, but the chick she was with to get access to them kids. You think she shouldn't have went to jail? You think she didn't know? And if she did it, that's neglect. But they get a shield. That's that 10 years doctorate shield. So my point is, when these conversations come up, nobody wants to really have the conversation. What everybody wants is like a man bashing session. They want basically to be able to reverse consent after the fact. They want men to be on their knees. They want black men to be like Omni Man in Invincible season, like what, 4 episode 5 and season 5 episode 5. They want motherfuckers coming in here like you done just laid waste to Chicago a couple of months back or years back, and everybody looking at you like you ain't shit. Any of y'all saw that episode and saw Debbie or saw Mark? Everybody, that's literally what they want. They want you to move with that posture on shit they did. We all remember when dudes were and women, and a lot of, even some older women trying to lie, and a lot of women said, a lot of women, you got females, like, first of all, if you're under really like 40 years old, if you're under 30 years old, you really shouldn't even be speaking on this topic because you weren't even alive. You speaking on this topic, if you're under 30 years old, really if you're under 40, but I'd say if you're under 30 years old, you speaking on this topic is like me talking about like before abortion was legal. It's so, you don't believe me? If you're 25 years old, you weren't even alive when 9/11 happened. Not even alive. It's not even in your living memory. So it's like me talking about the heroin era in the 70s. Yeah, I can look at TV and shit, but as far as really getting a taste and a feel for what that was like, you remember when we were, I want y'all to think about this. Y'all, a lot of y'all is my age, 39, 37, 36, 40. Y'all remember how old some of the music used to sound? Like stuff that was made in the 80s. Music that was made in like 89 or 88. Like MC Hammer music, or not even that old, not even that. But like the music that was in the 80s, like Ladies Night, the disco music, that shit seemed like that shit was so far away. The 50 Cent in the club is older than that shit would have been when we were young. Then the other stuff would have been when we were young. That stuff was only like 15, not even 10 years old, 15 years old. So your perspective is bent. Y'all motherfuckers don't, some of y'all motherfuckers don't even know what a fucking Nextel phone is. Direct Connect is. Y'all don't even know what a fucking typewriter is. Some of y'all motherfuckers damn near don't even know what a fucking VCR is. Don't even, not let alone an 8 tracks. I don't remember 8 tracks. Pager. Some of y'all like for real. And so you got people, you trying to comment on some shit. You trying to comment on some shit like that. It's like me trying to comment, like really comment on some day-to-day shit. It's almost like me trying to comment on segregation leading up to the civil rights movement. So I saw this female. She had to be like 19 years old. Talk about yeah, child. You know, bitch, you don't know. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up, because you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Because really, it's a high possibility in your mind. Your grandfather, and like, what are you talking about? The reality is, casual sex was not open. I'm not gonna say it didn't happen, but casual sex was not like laissez-faire like it is now. It wasn't. It wasn't this thing where these chicks just show their coochie and show their pride and blah. It wasn't like that. So when people want to get here and be like, oh, all these women when they were 16 years old meant something different in 1995 than it did in 2005, than it did in 2015, than it did in 2025. And if you don't believe me, there's a meme out there. If you don't believe me, if you don't, I just saw a meme with, remember the show Sabrina the Teenage Witch? Go look up how old some of these people are. Like, go look at, they said Hilda and Selma, the two aunts, one of them was 38 and one of them was 37. The I'm 39. Go look at some of the TV shows and go look at how old some of the people are. Really go look at how old some of the people are, like how they're even shown how old they are. 38, 39 used to be old. It used to be considered like for real middle age. Because you got started with adulthood. You was getting trained as an adult at 16. Why they call it Sweet 16. And in 18, you supposed to fly off the handle. There was no this, you find yourself between 18 and 25. You were out. At 18, you were ready to go. Or get ready, get set. That's why extras are the way they are. And extras had to mature fast because their parent generation, the silent generation, basically let them raise themselves. So they had to grow up fast, which is kind of why they shit on millennials. This is, even though I'm not giving them a blank check for that, but this is one of the reasons why they shit on millennials, because millennials were coddled by their rival generation, the boomer generation. Because the boomers have been catered to from basically from womb to the tomb. And they saw millennials as like the heir apparent of that. So we get a lot of the shit motherfuckers are too afraid to say to the boomers because of their political power and economic power. They basically put on us. And then the boomers, because they don't like their kids, put that on us too. That's what people don't want to say. And so you got fucking Z's commenting on some shit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And truth be told, a lot of zillennials or young millennials don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're operating on like everything from the position. Again, you are more mature. That Europe goes on that model. You are more you're there's a certain thing about maturity. We have a maturity problem. Why the fuck do you think you learn about sex education in the 5th grade? Or 6th grade? Why do you think that? And so when people want to have these emotional arguments, like they don't want to have these arguments like mature people. They want to have these emotional arguments from this like misandric, men are just trying to fuck as young as they can get. Yo, man, like fucking Hugh Hefner ain't that old. Nobody was calling Hugh Hefner a pedophile, even though he 90 years old. Toby Maguire right now is dating a 20-year-old. Y'all are picking and choosing when y'all want to get mad. The reality of the situation is, I'm sorry time moves one way. I'm sorry you getting old. I personally think Brandy's full. I like Brandy, but I personally think Brandy's full of shit. I actually think Brandy has a right to feel the way she wants to feel. But the reality of the situation is, your mama co-signed that relationship. No matter what the fuck you say, your mom had control over your career and what you did, and your mom knew. Don't tell me she didn't know y'all was fucking. Don't tell me that shit. And the thing is, they want to create this gap. They the way they talk about it is they talk about Wanye like Wanye was like 30 years old. That's the way they talk about Wanye. Look at how mature a lot of 22-year-olds are now. Yeah, you in college, but the reality is that's a 6-year gap. Oh my God, she's a child. What they really mean is she hasn't found herself. A lot of you bitches don't find yourselves till you're 40. So you look at how vulnerable you are, and what a lot of people don't realize is you bitches are supposed to be married. You all are not supposed to have a whole bunch of bodies. When people say they want virgins, what the fuck do you think that means? You think you're supposed to be a 25-year-old virgin? No, y'all, like people forget when you're going to debutante balls, why do you think we have proms? Like, really, why do you think you have that? Why do you think Jack and Jill have those balls? These things are to pair people up. Now, obviously, that's not in practice what the schools use it for now, but that's what it was for. And so basically, women want to occupy this space where they can just be whores, sluts, and all of that. And then the men just gotta be, the men just gotta, be 110% on point. While these women are whoring it out. Fuck you. Now at the end of the day, if you somebody and so when people don't want to have, and they want to, because now you see people talk about, oh, all these women dealt with that. They didn't know it. That's bullshit. You got women today. That's why I brought up that DJ Academics and that Shamaya bitch. Samaya bitch is 20 years old. She getting fucked flown away. You think these niggas are not fucking her if they're spending money flying her out? You think she's just so cool of a person and she's just so cool to be around that they're gonna pay her to just be around her and in her presence? These are rappers. Blueface. Blueface. This isn't fucking Chance the Rapper. Neo don't even get down like that. What are you talking about? And then she's like, and then at the same time, Samaya was with Playboy Cardi. Playboy Cardi is, hold on. Samaya was with Party on the Track. London on the Track is 35 years old. Samaya is 20 years old. Barely turned 20. People gonna say that gap is wrong. That's basically Diddy. That's the Diddy gap. What is this chick saying? What is she saying? Oh, we're not having sex. We're just hanging out and vibing. London on the Track gets $250,000 per track he creates. If he creates a hit for somebody to be and he stays busy. London on the Track to do hits, $250,000. He gave her a beat for free. I don't care if that's the worst beat he ever produced. This is a nigga that got a kid with Summer Walker and Summer Walker bitching and she can't crawl talking about he ain't shit. This is a nigga that fucked and nutted and had a kid with Summer Walker. What the fuck are you talking about? You really she was in the Dominican Republic. You know what they calling Samaya? They're calling Samaya Jet 2 Holiday. Right now, when Jet 2 Holiday, where you can get infant discounts. That's literally what they're calling that little girl. Or, now here I go. That chick. She sat there and got her mama on the phone to try to give. Look, I don't like academics, but give academics. Even other females had to finally relent. Like other female content creators had to relent. Yeah, she fucking them niggas. Why are y'all lying? Why do you? And we're pointing this out not to put her out there. First of all, she's putting it out there. She don't got a string. She wants to be seen with all these different dudes because in her mind it elevates her value. No, it lets us know you a hoe. So when you come back, when you 30, like, India Love is doing, I didn't know. I didn't know. I just thought I was just so cool of a person. I just thought they wanted to hang out with me because it was me. I didn't know. I didn't know. When London told me to get on my knees and assume the position, I was like, what? What are you talking about? I'm not that type of girl. And then London showed me pictures of me busting it wide open for Blueface. London said, the Blueface said that I was whole facts approved. He said Blueface gave me 5 stars. Oh my god. That's just like India Love. I'm praying, God. I have grown so much. I feel like I was taken advantage of. Hey, yo, Lord. When I was 19, and Gabe had his hand in my pants. He was fingering me, God, and I'm not gonna lie to shit to you. But now I see that set me on my path to be a hoe. I can't even remember most of the niggas I fucked. I just want to know, how did I get to 30 and I don't got the bag? That's basically what it is. That's basically what it is. So now motherfuckers are like, that's why academics won't leave it alone. He like, nah, fuck that shit. Especially when you got your mama on here lying to your mama like you ain't like. These are like, fuck you. We know who these niggas are. These niggas, like, bitch, you're a mail order hoe. And now you gonna play, I was being trafficked out of the country. No, bitch, you were given a ticket and you chose to get on the plane. Ain't nobody make you get on that bitch. Brittany Renner is in the same. Now Brittany Renner regret PJ. Brittany Renner, basically all Brittany Renner had to do is recognize PJ was gonna get some pussy for some other bitches. And what Brittany Renner should have did was say, look, Brittany Renner should have just said, should have stopped that nigga. If Brittany Renner would have had a better point, if she would have stayed, got married. See, what Brittany Renner fucked up is Brittany Renner didn't get married. If Brittany Renner would have got married, then she would have been entitled to alimony. She would have been entitled to more of his money because it would have been considered community property. Because I don't even think that nigga was really trying to get him and do a prenup like that. But a prenup is only so strong. But Brittany Renner ego got, see, her problem is her ego got in the way, and that's how I know Brittany Renner come from a white trash mom. Because if Brittany Renner came from like a regular class white woman, Brittany, her mom would have gamed her up. That's how I know she came from a white trash mom. That's how you know, right there. And if you didn't see that video where she was talking, in fact, it was a chick by the name of Yasmin Lopez. One of the basketball players got full custody. Got full custody of got full by the way, shout out to the basketball player Trey Murphy. I actually talked to his parents today. Yeah, that's what it is. So they get on here and they think they're gonna cry crocodile tears and wash the hoe off. Meanwhile, India Love is talking about I need a man. If a man sits there and acts like something's expensive and tries to negotiate, oh, that drives my pussy up. Well, we know what it is. You bitches fuck because you want money. You want. I mean, there's a we know what it is. You young hoes want what y'all want. Y'all want it right now. Y'all don't want to build shit, so y'all fuck y'all. Y'all want easy attention. It's the same reason you chicks get on OnlyFans. The only reason why India Love stopped doing OnlyFans, because people forget India Love got whole naked body. India Love got whole naked, like a couple of naked videos out here. Like it's a couple, like for real, that she knowingly put out there. If you know where to find it, because it ain't just on it, like for real. So India Love it. So again, these bitches be knowing what they be doing, but see what happens is they have regrets, and because they have regret, now their regret is assault. And I'm not saying women don't get assaulted. I'm not saying that never happens. That is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is a lot of these bitches be lying or they be overselling what the fuck really be happening. What I'm saying, a lot of these chicks be acting, be doing the most, and they be trying to use the crocodile tears to wash the hoe away. They want to wash the hoe away. Now, now they look dumb as fuck. Now that you 30 years old. Now that you 30 years old. And you ain't really got a lot to show for it, but some memories of some dick you had. And you like, that shit don't mean shit. So now, y'all want to be a victim. Bitches want to be a Christian. They want to, some of them choose to renew themselves and be a Christian. It ain't just black women that do this. Some of them choose to be a conservative commentator and be extra racist. And some of them renew themselves and decide to be a fucking victim. Different paths that they use after the poll. If y'all picking up what I'm putting down, hit that cash app. Crying. Now, Brandy, they want to start a Me Too 2.0. We were all assaulted in the 90s. All these old hoes. Brandy is what, like 47 years old? So if all you bitches that are like 42, 43, now all y'all, we didn't understand what we were doing. These men took advantage of us. I thought his Acura Legend was so fucking cool. I thought his Lincoln LS was so fucking awesome. I thought his Acura NSX was so fast. Bitches got scooped up in an Acura Legend. You think I fucking don't know? Bitches got scooped up in a Cadillac Seville. Bitches got scooped up in a fucking El Dorado. bitches got scooped up in like an old school Cadillac Escalade or Lincoln Navigator. Hey, he's an actor legend. I ain't gonna lie though. Them young niggas like, man, one day I'm gonna give me an actor legend. I'm gonna get the hoes too. Honestly, man, always thought the Acura Legend was overrated. I like the Lincoln LS. That's what I wanted. I wanted the Lincoln LS. And then for you younger niggas in the 2000s, you niggas wanted the fucking the Jaguar S Type, the busted ass Jaguars. I'm gonna get the Jaguar S Type. Niggas get like Jaguar S Types 125,000 miles. That bitch breaks down a block after it leaves the lot. Yeah, oh yeah, that to me, fuck y'all with the I gotta be more bougie or uppity. I'd give me that Lincoln LS. That's what I wanted. Fuck the I ended up with a fucking Ford Taurus. I had, let me see, when I was younger, I had a Ford Taurus. Ford Taurus was my first car. A Mitsubishi Galant was my second. Oh man, the Galant was shit. I ain't gonna lie, them Buicks were reliable though. Them Buicks, them old school Buicks. I mean, they were ugly, but they were reliable. And them bitches, that power steering was immaculate. I had a Kia Rio. That was my first stick. So I always, even though them fucking engines, fucking timing belt be snapping on them bitches. I might get another Kia. I might get like the Kia K5. I'm really thinking about it. Oh man, them niggas don't know nothing about Suzuki. My mom had a Suzuki Grand Vitara. I wanted to get the Suzuki Forenza. Cause like the sad part, America couldn't deal with no. Since I remember when Suzuki was selling that for them Forenzas was like the size of a Toyota Camry. It was like when Toyota Scion made a car. Yo, them things were $9,995, man. I'm telling you right now, if I would have got one of those cars in like 2010, I probably still have that bitch right now. That'd probably be like my daily driver. I would have just upgraded that shit. Don't even get me started. Yeah, them Buicks, man, them Buicks were people can hate them. Like them SUVs were ugly, but them Buicks were reliable. I remember I dealt with a bitch. She had a Dodge Neon. Boy, them bitches used to always had them Dodge Neons. Them white bitches. I dealt with a female. She had a Mazda Miata. That was the older one though. See, I can tell how old some of y'all are based on these cars y'all talking about. Honestly, them later Gallants actually slap. Them later Gallants slap because they got bigger. The fucking Mexicans and their fucking Mitsubishi Eclipse. I said, nigga, that's a bitch car. Them niggas got so bad. Nigga pulled up with the bigger Eclipse. I said, that's a bitch car too. That's just a bigger bitch car. I don't care if you get the fucking one with the spider top. That's a bitch car too. But that's them cars. The Acura Legend is the car of the 21, 22-year old scooping up a high school bitch. I'm going to glide them Lincoln LS's. And then another thing they don't like to talk about. Here's another reason why I don't give a fuck about what these bitches talking about. A lot of these niggas used to be D-boys too. So you're not about to cry your way out of that. You went with a drug dealer, bitch. Fuck you. You knew that was wrong. He had a nice car. Okay, bitch. Now you got nice memories. You got nice memories. You know what's funny? Y'all keep talking about, y'all come in here talk about get a real job. Nigga, I make like $7,000 off the internet, nigga. The other shit I do is just to move my money around back in the ads. So y'all love telling me I got my laptop in my car. Like y'all love telling somebody to get a real fucking job. Coming to my shit. Like, notice how when you hear niggas do that, they never say what the fuck they do. Nigga, what do you do? Before Joe gets rid of you again, type in what the fuck you do for a living. Nigga, what I don't like, and I'm not about to go on no rant on this because fuck that dude. But what I don't like is I don't like when dudes will say something like, oh man, show your bitch. Nigga, where your bitch at? But anyway, I'm here live and niggas out here. Let me see someone. But yeah, with the nice memories, I'm dead ass. I'm not playing. You got nice memories. And you sitting here, you regret it because what people told you is what it is. And it's kind of like, okay, you're not about to get it. Here's the thing, you're not going to get a better deal. You're not going to get a better deal because you cry and talk about you was assaulted. Like, first of all, y'all talking about some shit that's what the Xers did. That ain't got nothing to do with millennials. That ain't got nothing to do with Z's. See, the problem is, when I was 14, men were looking at me. So? Men were looking at me. Oh my God. So? Bitches were looking at Chris Brown when he was 15, 16 too. I mean, dead ass. And what's funny, like they really trying to, and it's like, okay, that's your parent generation. That's what your parents were on. That's what they were on. So y'all wanna and trust and believe these bitches were out here fucking. Nobody was coercing them into fucking. They were fucking on their own. For instance, how many bitches you think? Well, how many females you think went to Freaknik that was 16, 17 years old? Like, so this is the same bullshit that we had to deal with that fucking color purple shit. These motherfuckers, they get lied to about shit, and then in their mind, they're just perpetually, generationally sexually assaulted. These bitches, these niggas don't even know what a fucking Super Nintendo is. Talking like seriously. And my thing is, at the end of the day, you're responsible for your pussy. If a nigga takes it, that's horrible. He needs his dick cut off. Straight like that. If you want to get drunk and put yourself around men you living dangerously. If you want to play this game about men or monsters, it sounds like you want to be a victim. But let's just keep it all the way real. Let's keep it all the way real, man. Like, y'all sitting here and y'all wanna remember when's the last time? Notice how you don't hear these bitches talking about having hoe phases no more. Now all of a sudden, y'all not having hoe phases. Now all of a sudden, this sexual empowerment, all this fucking y'all doing, all these one night stands. Niggas told you. What did people hear? Mind your business. You a lame. You corny. Myron laughed at Urkel, right? Myra laughed at Urkel. Now she fucked up. Now y'all want to play games. Like y'all don't understand how you got here. And then y'all want to sit here and try to lie. I just don't understand. The man took advantage of me. He hit that bottom and da 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 da. Some of y'all like it's the same thing with the OnlyFans shit. It's the same thing with these porn stars. These porn stars try to say they got taken advantage of by these Jews. Bitch, you know the paperwork you signed. You knew you was popping that pussy. You knew what you was signing up for. What are you talking about? And them Jews like you ain't gonna do shit. All you gonna do is bitch. Some of them have gotten that shit off because they had to buy that shit. And this is what makes it so bad. A lot of these chicks don't even get rid of this. Like Mia Khalifa bitching about porn. She still called Mia Khalifa. That's not her real name. The thing is, the definition of a pedophile is somebody who's attracted to prepubescent children. Technically, what R. Kelly didn't fall in the realm of pedophilia. What R. Kelly did fell in the realm of statutory rape. That's what R. Kelly did. Um, what what that's what see that's the thing. That's the difference between a lot of Epstein shit. Like a lot of stuff statutory is not the same thing as pedophilia. But today it's like seen as the same. It's not. It's not. It's very like for instance, if you're on Roblox dealing with fucking 12 and 11-year-old boys, because it's mainly boys they be going after on that shit, by the way. But girls 12 or 11, then you're dealing with people that haven't entered puberty. That's why anything like 12 and under is seen as pedophilia. But when you start getting into 15, 16, when you're in high school, everybody has had puberty in high school, like a high percentage. So anything that if you're in high school is not pedophilia. It's statutory. I'm not saying it's not bad. I'm not saying you shouldn't be on the list. I'm not saying none of that. But that is an important distinction. Because there's a reason people keep trying to keep saying children. A 16-year-old is not a child. Not in the they're a minor, but they're not a child. A child can't get a provisionary license. A child cannot be on the road in a steering wheel driving. Like for real. I'm not saying that's not the same. And historically in the country, legally, again, before the year 2000, 30 states the age of consent was 16 years old. These were not laws made for pedophilia. These black people didn't make these laws. Today, right now, most of Western Europe is 16 years old. I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. What it is bitches are children until they're 30. That's because if the gap, like if you deal with a 25-year-old, like for instance, they give if you deal with a 25-year-old and you're like 40, that's considered inappropriate. People using terms like age appropriate. Oh, all of a sudden, so how about so I can't say homosexuality is wrong, But you can say that a 25-year old can't choose who they want to deal with. Bill Belichick is the coach of UNC Chapel Hill, the football coach. Bill Belichick is with like a 31-year-old. See, now we've entered the realm of your opinions get to dictate what other people do. And the thing what I don't like about that is notice how you don't hear interracial conversations about this. You'll never hear black females talk about how old white men be fucking young black women. You don't never hear women commenting on what other racial groups and their whether their dating practices are age appropriate or not. This is how I know this shit is really about mate guarding. What I want to see is I want to see a group of four women of different races and ethnic groups and four men of different races and ethnic groups, and let's have at it. And not no panderers. Nobody's got content. Nobody's got content to sell. What you talk about? That shit don't fly in South Africa, South America, because South America's age of consent is crazy. But that's for people that are native to those lands. Like you don't be Nicaraguan and be like, I need to like you can go on you can go on TikTok right now. They got this thing, and I got some of that, but I know though. I forget how the song go, but they'll have like age when they got with somebody versus how old they are now, and it was clearly like, wow, and they're Hispanic. I've heard Hispanics speak on that a little bit. I'm not saying the conversation doesn't happen at all, but yeah, I'm not saying. Look, man, I'm not sitting here. Me personally, I'm not dating nobody that young. But when I hear things like what do you have in common? Y'all don't be having in common with half the niggas y'all fucking. When you're in college and you fucking a nigga that with socks and sandals and dirty socks on, what do you have in common with that as a college educated woman or on the path? You don't got shit in common, but you still doing it. When I hear people talk about what do you even have, like they telling themselves what they really think. What do you even have in common? What does that matter? So if we both like, let's say we both like Mortal Kombat, does that make a difference? No. So why is that even relevant? Or with Brandy, they talk about different things Wanye was doing to make her feel bad. So if it wasn't, if you're saying that the age was the issue, everything else shouldn't matter. Him being a good boyfriend shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Remember, Wanye and Brandy was in a love triangle with Adina Howard. It fucked up her career, and she was pretty much the same age as Wanye. It was known that she was in that relationship. She did a whole album about it. You really think her mom didn't know she was fucking Wanye? You really think she didn't know? And see, Brandy's leaving her mother out of it, and that's cool. But it's like, nigga, we not, and that's what I was wanting. See, the problem is Wanye. Well, shit, Wanye is old enough that he shouldn't even need to make money off his music. Like, it's like, yo, it is what it is. But you're not about to have me out here as a pedophile. I would do an op-ed editorial talk about we know what it is. Now you gonna sit here. I'm not about to be the next black man because they talk about I want an apology. I'm like, bitch, fuck your apology. If you actually somebody did a whole like square by square grid of everybody that Brandy dated. I'm not saying Brandy's a hoe, but the reality is Brandy was out here. This idea Brandy dated some Brandy was never not with nobody. Brandy dated somebody 16, 17, 18, 19. You, Brandy was never like Brandy dated somebody like damn near every year, almost all through her teenage, like 16 and up. And had a kid out of wedlock and tried to fake a marriage. Notice how now the conversation ain't niggas or colorists. Now the conversation is niggas. And so this is using an attack vector. And so this is kind of like a bait. And it's even some women because it's like motherfuckers are lying. Because at the end of the day, you chicks are still doing this with your coochie. You all, a lot of these chicks now, you got to think the pressure, the fake, like group 18 is greater than ever. Because now you see all this social media of this lifestyle that you think you're supposed to get. Bitches want to jump on OnlyFans. These chicks jump on, they literally launched their OnlyFans at 18 years old. And then got the nerve to say somebody weird for signing up. Bitch, you the one making money off of weirdos. You launch an OnlyFans at 18. And see, here's the thing. You know why they always say that? Because these bitches get on social media, they get on TikTok, and they start building up how you think they build it up? They build it up with the people around them first. When I say around them, I mean in their school. If you a cute bitch at your school, then it ain't hard for you to spread out. Like there's a lot of schools where I'm at. Like for instance, Charlotte, North Carolina is the 15th largest city in the United States. Wake County, where I'm at, is larger than Charlotte, North Carolina, at the county level. Then you got Durham. I just told you, man. There's some. I just fucking told, like, dude, you have no idea how stuff is interconnected here when it comes to baseball, basketball, the university system. And so they build their stuff locally within whatever demographics. After they're black, they're going to be mainly dealing with black and Hispanic people, mainly black people. And then it spreads out. A lot of them think they slick because my younger brother, cousins is like, they try to turn it on, turn it off because their parents are monitoring them. So they jump in and out of social media, like in and off of their accounts. Because I've had family members, talk to me about like different tactics and stuff. They use Snap. And I've told them, I said, yo, watch for Snap. That's like the biggest one. They use Snap. These motherfuckers are basically they are planning, strategizing, and they build it up and then they launch it. And if they get in position, they try to launch that shit. And a lot of these chicks get on these shows, these things, so they're trying to build that shit up because these bitches because they want the easy lifestyle. And they don't care about giving no pussy up to do it. Like now, dude, don't have like 10,000 subscribers and have real motion on an Instagram page. I'm telling you, man, ask a bitch in her 20s. Ask, these bops, ask a bitch in her early 20s. How much does a dude gotta have, like for real, in real life? How much does a dude gotta have on, how many followers do you got? I assuming that the engagement matches the followers. Not no, okay, they just got followers but no engagement. How many followers do they gotta have? I'm telling you, man, nigga got 12. I've seen it with my brother. Nigga got 12. Niggas got, don't be a nigga to get hoes in general, and then you got 12,000 Instagram followers. Don't do that. Don't have no YouTube channel with no 25 or 30,000 followers. Don't have that. Don't be in a situation where you're not really working for real. And I'm going to keep it real with you for, the bitch ass nigga that want to make fun of Uber. Quiet as it's kept. There's dudes, they'll work 3 days a week. Like maybe a Friday, Thursday, Friday, chill for the weekend. They'll make like $900 a week, working about 8 hours a week, and then the rest of their money on the internet is what pays for their stuff. But they just work that just so it ain't pulling all their money for the internet. But they do most of their stuff on the internet. But a lot of y'all don't know shit about that. Because y'all too busy trying to make fun of somebody else in the comment section that you listen to me, bitch. But my point, and then a lot of these dudes, if depending on what age they are, they like picking motherfuckers up because it puts bitches in the, it puts bitches in their car. If you a nigga and you got motion, you got motion, especially if you got motion, you got a decent car for it. You driving, that's automatic conversation starts, especially if you got shit going on and other shit. But see, niggas don't think about that because niggas too busy trying to flex on other motherfuckers, even though you listening to me. But my point, because don't think I don't be aware of motherfuckers Ubering and shit like that, because a lot of these Uber drivers be weird. But he said what? I mean, at the end of the day, the age gap thing is mate guarding. It's mate guarding. It's sexual politics. It's designed to try to make all men seem like they bad. You know, we know why these women are getting with these dudes. These women are going out of their way to get these dudes because they want to taste lifestyle. And that's a decision that they're making. And what doesn't get said about in the black community is a lot of older bitches are fucking young niggas. But see, they don't want to have that conversation. They don't want to have that conversation. But anyway, I've been on here long enough. Gave y'all a good strong stream. How long we been on here? Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, that's a good strong stream. Let me talking this shit. Anyway, y'all, it's been great. With that being said, it's Edward.